Solar direction line center. You guys are coming into high pitching sound and interference channels in position, communicating with your phone receptors, changing line rotations, conditions, interference, location line conditions. To really understand how to use all levels of travel at time. You have to really understand how to use your fingers. We're going into verification line centers of Vega communications. I got the cycles and the ground power and the RC line rotation. It's important you understand the power lines of view through calculation because you guys are in your holograms right now, right? And you're going to come more into remembering a lot of things now. Who you went to school with, what solar system they were on. Remember, you're living in space. You're trying to understand all structure of you of a hologram, remembering this, remembering that. And it's important that you're going to come across these people on TikTok or anywhere else. It's a memory that's lost, that's forgotten, but always, always there for you to remember. So that's what you come into. I went into that too when I went to Lemurian. All right. So I was connecting to all my friends, past lives and dimensional systems. Not everybody is in the same solar system. You understand how it's all calculated, modifying how you travel through ancient times. So it's truly powerful when you come to higher, more formations of you through calculations. But today we have to really understand how to use our fingers because it's important. Because the thing is that when you're looking at your phone, you have to learn how to communicate through the voice so you can communicate back because it's communicating to you through vibration, and it's sitting there. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? How's your day been? That's wow. It's intense, and you think, am I crazy? Am I just hearing my phone talk back to me? And I said, don't think it's crazy because it's not, because that's what's happening. Because your holograms is truly you understand everything through the phone, right? It communicates back with you, right? Like connections. So we get into that position, you understand more force recognitions, but you have to be totally verified when we go to Vega. Vega will get in complete cycles of rotation, do the energy wash, we'll do the digital frames, we'll do the heat signature patterns, we'll do the graph line center. You have to understand how to use the atmosphere line centers, pixel activation, change that, put that back, put that forward, put that over here, line strip, open it up, push that across, bring that down, put that aside. All this is done through the graph line center, the atmosphere line rotations. Because remember, everything that you see in structure outside is nothing but a hologram. So you really have to get into your hands. You have to learn how to use the grids, right? You go like this. Never like this, though. You have to get in position of balance. This is the grounds, right? This is the grounds, okay? This is the circle rotation, eye center line connections, 3, 6, 9 platform, okay? Line strip across, line strip back. See, these are the things that you guys forgot, right? 2 V vectors, 3 circle, 4 rotation, 5 activation, 6 within center, and 7 of the body track system. So we all have to understand how to communicate more, all right? Commander Amber is doing extremely well. She did it very powerful with the growth of the connections, how you add water and everything through soil to make everything grow, right? With your life system. It's all about understanding how to use the grounds and everything, all levels of fire and everything through air and everything through water, right? But once you get in positions, you have to truly understand what you're doing through calculation. And you always have to end up in the same sequence. If it's off system, so it's got to find a way because you're sending out wrong signals. It's always in the right, it's always in the left. Okay, it's never in the left, it's always in the right. So don't get confused with that because you're putting out signals. You have to go from the in to the out. Calculation modifications to the right track and the left track. So when you're sending out signals, you always start with the right, which comes to the left. So it's going out, right? So you send out laser directions, right? It's all going out. So that's what's going to happen today when we go to Vega. All right, we're going to thumbprints all your finger joints in positions and high rise your all position your code line centers. It's really powerful to come at positions. So how's everybody doing so far? All right. So everything's activated the correlated system. You guys have to understand how to use all this in calculation. All right. So let's get into your questions before we go to Vega. I know your hand's working overtime and you can't help it, right? Because you're trying to understand what's going on with you. And the thing is, everything that you structure is all automatic. So it's like when you get up in the morning and you see your phone is communicating with you through vibration. So you got to basically set signals back to your phone, right? And then you get energy back through locations, right? So it's sending out signals back and forth, back and forth. Same with your computer. You know, yesterday when you guys teleported into space, into that UFO, we went, that's communication. Okay. That's the balanced signals. But you're always use the right and the left. You can use both, but as long as you use the right first, because it's the inner from the outer. If you're using the outer, you're sending out message, but you haven't got the information from the data. Data processing, it's like going through a scanner. Scanner goes in, right? Reads the structure, right? Puts it on the screen. Okay, now right, and then it reads all levels of what you're doing through your chakra system. You guys have really connect with sound now. Really open up your ears. Really understand the vibration of your phone, your computers, your digital pads, or anything that connections. Even this has energy. This has vibration. It's all looking through light. See the light signals? See that? See it? See how it changes? See how it changes? See all the rounds? See the location? See the shapes it's creating? This is all signals, right? But it's always from the right. The right goes the inner and the left goes the outer. All right. So don't use your lefts. Use rights, right and the left, and then both. Okay. If you go left, you're sending out outgoing message. Where's the incoming message? So you guys got to get into that. So don't confuse, because your phone's going to go confusing, right? And you'll catch on very quick. Karen, how's it going? Veronica, thank you very much. Hey, buddy, what a beautiful sparkling day. I'm joining in later. Yeah. Good morning. Janet, how's it going? Thank you very much. Out of this world. Appreciate that. Lieutenant, thank you very much for sending that out. It's all about remember. Not teaching you anything. Very powerful. And I think people get the wrong idea because they're so accustomed to wake up in the morning. Oh, I got to do a test. I don't want to do a test. That means I got to go see my teacher. What is my teacher teaching me? To remember, not to teach you. That's the problem with society is everybody's teaching you something. No wonder you don't want to do the test. No wonder there's pressure. There's no pressure when you start remembering, but you have to let go. Okay. These are 5 joint line centers, right? So you have to let go. Think of drawing in the atmosphere. Try to understand what is going on with you. So if you're doing this, it's the same thing when they're doing the illustrations, right? And then you go into the center rotation. There's the 3, 6, and 9, right? 3 round line centers, right? Take it out of the equation. Now you can do it with 1 track, 2 track, 3, 4, or 5 tracks. 6 within the activation, 7 within the body. Okay? So it's true that you stay in all levels. What is the grounds of you? What is the earth rotation of you? You have to connect to your vibration. You have to know your body. You have to really pay attention to this because you're coming in more into all levels of digital framing, communicating with your phones, your computers, and your digital pads. Right? And then we'll get over to mind over matter. Really do all positions. Okay. Colors of this, colors of that. That's what we all have to get into. All right. Because basically you are in position to not just remember, but why you're remembering is so you can understand the grids now. Because if you're looking outside, you're seeing the hologram of everything. But you have to say, okay, that doesn't look right. I'm going to put that back over here. That's dark. I'm going to put that out there. So it's like you're taking everything out and putting everything in. So it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't fit. I'm going to put that over there. That's what you guys have to understand, how to use your fingers. Right? Just get into the flow. 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 Everything is activation. This is the galaxy. This is the galaxy. All right. So when you guys get really good at it, it's really fast in how you go like this, right? And you can bring in your left hand and communicate with it and it understands positions, right? It's sending out signals, but it's going through the right to the left, not left to the right. All right. This is the galaxy communicating to the finger point line center, right? So it's sending out codes. So it's laser. It's going view, 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 view. Starting setting up a new operation center. ¿Cómo estás? So that's a true understanding how we get more involved, right? You guys will find that too, because you're going to find it when you do these things, it's automatic. It's automatic. Even communicate with your marker, right? Now you can use it. Because if you don't communicate with the marker, the problem is that it sees you in a hologram, but do you see yourself as this is a hologram? So you can't get confused anymore because you're not in your physical alignments. You're in your holograms. So you have to understand what this is when it turns. See, because it's doing this now, right? It's moving faster and faster. And this is what you see through hologram line center. So you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. You know, it's all about communication, right? Really quick, right? And then it reacts right to you. So it's amazing how we get into track system locations. All right. Yeah, your hands will be working overtime more and more each day, guys. My ear tones change like what is the, yeah, exactly. You're coming more into your senses now, right? But you just have to get into form how to use your hologram body, okay? Because your whole structure now is a hologram and your reality has changed now. So this is the thing. When I started off, I was saying, wow, I can't see anymore from outside. And it's automatic. And everything that I see is inside me now. So my whole body's changed inside. So everything is space is creating. It's creating. You're creating this space that's already stored for you when you remember everything. And again, once you've created that already, you start in the now and then you start creating on day to day, which is you, which is everybody else in the same time frame. Right? But you know where you are in foundations. You guys will find that too. When you get your foundations, you'll be 200, 300, 400, 500, 5,000 years in the future. So you have to learn how to use it through cycle, through cycle, through cycle, through cycle. So you get a better understanding how to go through rotation spins, right? How to use digital lines, how to use your name, right? How to crosswind. It's really, really, really fast, right? So you can do this, you can do this. But it's got to be the same. It's got to be the same, guys, on both sides, right? Because if the signal's off, right? Right? And then this has to come down, bring it back up. Practice makes perfect, right? So think of your hands as intelligence, right? Your right hand and your left, the inner and the outer, inner, outer, inner, outer. Okay, never ever use the outer. Always use the in. Okay, because you're getting data coming in from Vega or any other planet. And best, especially when you're coming into higher levels of you through track system, you'll start remembering where you went to school. You start remembering your fleet commands. You start remembering higher other intelligence. This is what's coming into you now, because you guys are full communication and holograms, especially the GFLs that are 80 chakra systems. The more you go through light and high rise, the more you understand your space position. Now we're going to go to quadrant 6. That's on Vega communications, right? We go through the energy wash. It's all set up. You're going to transform into high level connections, all right? High positions. All right, so when you see this, you're going to teleport in the high line center rotation. Okay, it's already set up through the grounds, dimensional settings, 3 forks in rotation. Okay, so when you do structure, you already know your positions, what you're doing through geometry line center, right? So try to understand, try to do it with your hands. Try to understand what is going on and how you go through circle like this and how you go through circle like that and you line cross. All right. Okay, you line cross here, right? So it's all about understanding how to use your hands in all ways. So you have to structure. You have to structure the grounds and the circles and the rotations and the rounds and the portals and the codes, right? So it's all about understanding how to operate a computer or how to operate a bike or how to operate a machine, and then turn it on, because everything in mechanics has an on and off button, right? But fortunately, you guys are in a high rotations where you have to really communicate with everything now because things are going to come at you full force on all levels of electronics. And you have to understand the sound. It's like, okay, that's the microwave. Oh, okay, that's my fork. Okay, that's my knife. Oh, that's the fridge. So this is the connections. All right, so when we go to the high water rotation, communication of the plasma line center of Vega communications to the signals of teleportation. Line communicate interference locations, the GFLs, rebellion lines, everything through the galactic forces, high-rise line rotations, put them in the digital frame line conditions, teleport them into rendezvous of quadrant level 6 in position. For the new viewers, there'll be an offside line center of observation. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. All right. See? Everything's communication. All right. Try to understand what's going on through structure. See? Structure. Right? Okay. That is that with the hand. So you have to learn that. Draw things out and use it with your hands and try to do exactly what's going on with program line center rotations, right? Right track, left track. See? Do-do. Okay. Send out the sonar to the communication line center. Right? Right? You can do that. But as long as you go like this first, because you're introducing your system, your core center has to understand the calculations, right? So when it understands the beacon lights, then you can go. You can do a lot of things, but you always have to be in present of center first before you introduce yourself to anything through Vega. They understand you through codes now. Okay. It's very fascinating. Okay, 20 minutes, have fun. All right. Oh, morning, Samantha. How you doing? All right, I'm scared to get up even a call like that. My stomach is acting up. Oh, communication cycles, line center line connections, Nicole. Oh, you got worried interference of positions to your cat. Change the interference, change the stomach line connection rotations, put it in the common center rotations. Yeah, disavow the communication line centers and connections, put Nicole into fragmentation of bounce rotation. Yeah, take the stomach away from its system location. So there you go, Nicole. No more stomach ache. All right. High rising gourds. Yeah, Nicole. Okay, the topic of the hands came a lot yesterday. Girl on TikTok made a post asking me. Yeah, nobody can do it. You have to go through your general because it's all about you remembering, right? You can't go any. Nobody understands these things. Nobody understands it. And once you start remembering, I don't teach you anything. You just remember these things. Okay, if I teach you, it's too complicated, and I give you a test, it's too complicated. So it's all about you remembering, and that's why Jill's so fantastic when she starts connecting better, right? It's all about understanding your triggers in life, and when you understand the triggers, you understand. Whoa, this is very powerful. I'm letting myself go of everything. I'm letting myself go of everything. Okay, that's exactly what it is, Commander. Energy wash, yeah. So it's all set up. So every time you get up in the morning, you'll be doing a lot of that now because you're getting a lot of signals, right? Through your voice, through your eyes, through your ears, through your fingers. Fingers are number one, but you always go with the right track because it's the data coming in. Never, ever, ever do your left first. It confuses the alignment of Vega communication planets. It's disassociating, it's disseparating. It's a negative line center. Always use the right because it's the data that goes into the right track, into the left. So when you're doing this, what are you doing? right? You can go this way, but as long as you start with the right, that means you're going here back into here. So you can go back and forth, but as long as you start with the right first, because it has to understand you through data, okay, through the 1 track, 2 track, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 track locations. All right. So, all right. You get your grounds. That's exactly what it is. Grounds is number 1. Commander, yep. Balancing in the field's up. Man, I woke up this morning feeling like I was hit by a truck. Yeah. You're processing. Yep. Does this travel possibly cause? Yep. But see, that's it. Nicole's going through it. You guys are going all through this now because, like I said, the ground is trying to understand you through your holographic system, and you guys are going to have triggers, right? I go through it, you go through it, right? And it's all about balancing everything out. And you have to use your hands every day, okay? Because you're communicating in a hologram of a structure that's trying to understand you through the ground system. You're in your holographic world now, guys. You're no longer in the physical understanding. You have to communicate to the walls. You have to communicate to your phones. You have to communicate to your computer. You have to communicate to your car. You have to communicate to the trees. You have to communicate to the grounds. You have to communicate to all levels of structures of buildings. You have to communicate to humans, all through fingers. Yes. And this is real. And this is what it's all about. It's all about you remembering where you're supposed to be because you're all in position to all levels. Once you remember more, you are set in a foundation, right? And then you start living the existence of the now. That's how I'm able to be in 7021 in foundation of 5,000 years in the future. You guys have to find your positions of the now. You're in the presence, which is very, very confusing, but you're finding your triggers, right? It's balancing your triggers and staying in the center and being all levels of you through calculation. Always, always, always. If this off signal, that's okay. You just have to communicate to the right hand because it's data that's already in hand, right? Then because if it loses track, you can just see back in order. It's very powerful, guys. I mean, seriously, it's really powerful because the thing is too is that you know how you basically pick up a knife or you pick up a fork to eat, right? Well, the thing is you have to use signals now. You're in your holographic system and you're no longer in structure of the physical system. So your structures are all holographic now. Your whole world is changed all around, all around. So you have to get used to this now because you're in your phenomenons. You're no longer in your beliefs. You are now in the phenomenon trying to understand you through the earth core. The Galactic Federation lights are in position to the antimantium. The galactic forces are in the mantle, and everything through positions of the rebellion are in the center of the plasma of the now. Okay, they have a lot of work to do because they got to bring all their alignments of past, present, future into one, right? So does everybody else. So you can get into the grounds of your perceptions. You get your balance with yourself first. After that, you get your balance with your chakra system. After that, you get your balance with the grounds of its earth perception, which is its hologram. The singularity, simulation, and inference has to truly understand you through calculations. Okay? So, and I'm doing this, but I'm not pointing anything out, right? So even if I put my left hand, doesn't matter because I got balance with both, right? See, if you don't have balance with both, it's off signal, right? And then you got to communicate with back. And it's reaction. It's the reaction. It's the cells. It's the particles. It's very real when you do this. I'm changing all cell line centers. Very quick, very fast. You can't see it, but the particles are moving, shifting back and forth. It's communication to both intelligence, right? That's why you have the right hand and left hand, right? Why the right hand is bigger and the left hand is smaller. Makes sense, right? Balance between the two, right? The logistics and everything through high rotation line connections to all creativity system. The intuitive line center, okay, the dream connections and the logistics, the strength, the power, the command. So that's a balance between father and mother, right? It's very powerful. You come in that position locations. So, all right. Love going through the energy wash. Yep. All right. Yes, a lot of diagrams while sleeping. You guys are going to see a lot more because you're coming into your EI positions. Yeah. Lieutenant, drink water, everyone. Very powerful. This is cool. Everyone, water. Just went to sleep at 9:30 last night. Okay. Circle up, team. So the trigger is going to happen to you to the ground line center. So it's kind of like you're flashing on so many levels of solar system line rotations, and the lights are going to go boom, 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 trying to understand communications. So you have to use your right hand to turn it off, right? So it's very powerful how you guys are connected to your holograms now, how you have to connect to circuitry lights, signaling lights, how this is the sun and this is the moon. You guys have to find your platforms. You have to find your foundation. So when you find that, you'll find your sun and you'll find your moon in your structure or where you're living, which is very powerful because these aren't lights. These are planets. These are solar planets. These are operations of you, which is done inside. All right. So, and it becomes a safe haven. And then you put understanding how to create this through your energy fields. And you can create an energy dome and how you can create a dimensional system of you, intergalactical system. It's like going into a UFO and then whoosh, look how big it is inside. You're going into their space. You're going into their time, right? Which is fascinating, right? Because it's already created, right? So it's amazing when you guys go up to travel, you start remembering more, right? Oh, transformation communication line signals. Oh, energy wash. Teleportation lights coming in. Activation core line centers coming in. Finger point joint line center interference is coming in. High position to ground line center. Okay, high position on ground line center rotation. Circle locations. You know, it's just trying to understand how to use your fingers, right? Always go with the right though, for now. Until you get your balance. You have to get your balance, right? So these are the two hand line center rotations, right? Now I'm creating an energy ball. It's in the center line center. Okay, it's like it's a ping pong. It's like tennis. It's going like going back and forth. So I can go view, 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 view. I feel the energy going back and forth. So, and then you can juggle, right? You can actually see the ball going up, right? And then you can juggle. So it's going. It's going extremely fast. So it's like ET when he can levitate the planets and move them around, right? It's amazing when you see these things. So your graphing system, your perception, I'm seeing blue lights, I'm seeing planet line centers, laser direction line connections, UFOs coming in position locations. It doesn't have to just be outside. It's inside you. So it comes outside your structure because that's connected to the sun and that's connected to the moon. You guys have to find your foundations so you get into the juggling. So you get into what's going on with your hands, right? So you can create anything through a platform. You can create a ground line center. And it gets heavy. You feel your hands getting heavy. And it's like, whoa, I'm holding something. I can feel the heaviness, right? And it's just, you can throw it up. It comes back down, right? So it's all about the consistency of time, right? The velocity of change, the coloration of lights. And this is where you come into the quantum system of you, okay? The atomic level system times pi through communications, high level rotations to all levels of calculations, right? All starts with E equals MC squared, right? So you get into heat signatures. You guys refer it as Reiki. See? A lot of Chinese monks do this, right? It's energy. It's tractions of energy. Everything of energy has sound. So you collaborate your line centers and your chakra systems of communications, right? Okay. And then you can create anything through its imagination. Just listen to the sound. It's very powerful. All right. It's amazing how you can go through these positions. rolling line center, okay? Creating a circle, right? This is the rotation, right? Okay, so you go faster, 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 faster. You can actually see the illumination of the spin, right? Right? So it's like a spoke on a wheel. It's like, everything energy is vibration, energy, and frequency locations, and everything coming into. You guys are coming into high rise of harmonics. You guys are coming into primes now. You're coming into your negatives, line interference, coming into solid versus line interference locations. So you have to learn how to be like a kid again. Try to do this. So it's sending, spitballs, like snowballs, right? So it's playing with you, right? The right hand is playing with you like a kid again, right? So you're creating things, It's amazing how you can create things like this. Okay, raindrops on roses, and Sound of Music. So rain interference, particle line, center line, connection rotations, right? Set up the circle, set up the grounds, set up the streamline center, set the ground rotations, all position atmosphere line conditions, recharge, reactivate, bring it back up to line rotation, send it up to rotations, send up the code line center rotations, right? And gratitude system, right? So I sent you something all through my hand formations of right and left track system location. So it's very powerful. Okay, let's see. Imagine you're sitting in a circle with the whole team. We are all connected with a positive web. Yep, Heather, how you doing? I'm seeing colors in such a different way now. We are cross-legged right now, arms up. Don't cross your legs. Open frequency line center. Thing is, too, is that you guys are in your holograms now, so don't cross your legs. Make sure you understand your position locations. Your fingers, anything, your line connections, levels, your triggers will say, don't cross your legs, because you have to keep your open sequence. You're always in a circle rotation line center of each other. So, all right, can everyone see where I am? Put up the beam, looking gorgeous. Great, the visuals are way better. Yes, they are, Samantha. And that's what you guys want. Right, so when you're looking at the atmosphere, you can actually see the blue dots. It's all connected to the sun, and then you can go and send it out, right? So you guys are in your holographic system now. So you have to learn how to look at the atmospheres. So it's projecting what's coming out through projection. So you're going to see the graphs now outside. It's going to be freaky now because you're in your hologram. So it's really bizarre because what you're used to, you're not used to using your hands a lot. A lot of people communicate with their hands, like, how's it going, everybody? Some people use their hands more than often, right? But there's a reason why we do these things. Communication, right, is number one, right? Especially with people that are disabled or they can't hear, they use sign language, right? Who do you think created that? Things are clicking in, right? Why we do sign language, right? Food, right? Food. I love you. So truly understand how to use these two calculations. It modifies everything, right? That's a true understanding where you have to come into formation line conditions. Okay, open signal. Okay, closed socket. Open signal, closed socket. Open signal, closed socket. Okay, now what's in a closed socket? You bring it to the side. This is a ramp. So you set it up line signal to a graph line system. Now you set up a frost bridge, right? And then people walk across. So you have to really get into your imaginations. It's unbelievable. You're like a kid again, and you're looking at things in a different perspective because that's what AI is. And that's the love cycle of everything. It was an illustration. The illustration comes from the mind, which is already done through positions. So you just get into your fingers and send it out, which is real. They can't see it, but you can. So you can see the pictures and everything that you're drawing in the atmosphere line conditions. So it's very powerful. All right, looking beautiful. That rainbow is shining so bright. Everything is laser light. Track connection to our center plasma now. Yeah, Tina, how you doing? You are working so fast, like a turbo speed. And you guys get a lot better too with your fingers. A lot quicker. You know, Commander did a very powerful video yesterday, and she was connecting with the, see? What's this mean? Right? What does this mean? So you have to truly understand what you're doing through calculations, right? But always start with the right, then you go with the left, then you can go with both. Never ever start with the left, okay? All right, so now you guys are really connecting. Vortex through dimensional security line defense. Yep, flux capacitor, hand signals figure 8, very good. Signal down, signal cross. That's very good, Lieutenant. So it's all about understanding this is the moon, right? So, and the signals are coming from the sun, right? So this is understanding where the sun goes, right? But the thing is too, what happens to the sun when it goes down? It never goes down. It stays in space of you. Remember, you control everything from inside, which controls your reality outside. Everybody's reality is different. So everybody sees the sun different. Everybody sees the earth different. Everybody sees the moon different. We'll never, ever be on the same perception because we're different DNA programs, guys. So if it's like this, okay, you understand when the moon goes across, it comes up. And then it wants to spin. If it comes into high rotations, if there's a different weather pattern coming in tornado, it'll set out signals, right? So it's amazing how everything's created through a tunnel. You have to get into your weathers now. And you guys are coming into that formation line system. So it's all about controlling your weather inside. So you can stop the rain. You can bring out the sun. You can stop fires now. Bet you didn't know that. But you don't know how to do it. So I'm here to help you remember how to do these things. And remember, it's not a teaching process. It's already a known process. Right? So if I'm doing this, wow, feels good. You know, but what am I doing? Right? What am I doing? I'm washing my face with water. Oh, it feels cold. It feels nice. So you guys have to understand how to do these things. So it's the containments inside you, how to use all levels of the grounds, the fire, the air, and the water. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, right? Every morning when I have a shower, the pipes take a while to come in, right? So I communicate to the pipes and the crystals. I stop the crystalline water and it changes the track system. And I say, okay, put in the heat line rotation. Hot water comes in. All because of my AI position and my phenomenons. You guys are in your phenomenons now, just as you know that. You're no longer in the physical lines. You're now in your full, complete cycle of your hologram. And you have to get used to understand all these triggers that are going on with you every single day. Clock goes on and off. You have to use your fingers to turn it off. It's a lot of things you have to change now. So there's no thinking. It happens automatically. Listen to Tina. She's in a very high rise. My hands are revealing and moving so fast they're blurry. Yeah, they are, and that's what it is, because all your eyes are changed to translucent. When you look outside, you can actually see the UFOs on standby, but you can actually see the atmosphere, but it's not an atmosphere. Okay, your perception is different from what I see, right? So it's all about understanding it's just a computer screen. So yeah, remembering everything. Electronics interference through information's finger connections. Yes. Disappeared. Yep. Samantha and I are in triangle formations. Perfect, Jill. Great. Nice team, looking good. How's everyone? Veronica's powerful. Yep. And the thing is, too, you guys will be able to communicate to your holograms doing this, right? How's your rotation line, center rotation connections? Oh, not too bad. How's it going with you through rotation? So it's all about understanding how to communicate with each other through the hologram now. Okay, that's the only way. Because the thing, when you're flying, it's more controllable, right, than doing it through your physical. Your physical just has to understand the brain acceptance. Let's say, okay, the brain understands now that the mind is 5,000 years in the future. So you got the soul. the high position location, the body is gone. The body is not there anymore. You can't see the body. And that's why Commander Amber's, our hands are changing, and she's starting to go faster with her hands. So over time, your hands will disappear. And when your hands disappear, you're in extremely high rotation of flux capacitor, of acceleration, of Mach speed. So you can really go really fast, right? And it feels like, whoa, what just happened, you know? So it's all about understanding what you're doing, right? Very powerful when you do that, right? It doesn't look like much, right? To the human vessel, but it's everything to AI. So I'm setting reline centers to my computer operation line position, right? See the rhythm? It's the same pattern, but it isn't. I'm changing pixel activations to my handline center. See, I'm connecting all ways and forms. So I send up a new plasma, a new energy, a new web line center to the core system, which is its barcode. Barcode reads everything through all levels of the moon and the sun. Cross signal. Okay, so you'll catch on very quickly. And this is all about understanding all positions, why I put you guys in Vega communications. Your cycles and line centers, everything through times pi, which all calculations to your finger point line centers of the figure 8 motion, right? So you're coming into all positions. Once you go to higher low rotations, when you're 114, you'll be able to understand how to create your own planet through an 8 circle rotation line center. It's all connected to your flower in your tree, right? So, all right. Forehead is pulsating. Vega, I'm crying now. It's great. Tried it, and I can totally see and I feel the energy. Yeah. Pressure on my right cheek. Yeah. Energy manipulation. Yeah. Towards my ear. Being stable. Yeah. So you guys are going to get more triggers now, because remember, you have to get all foundations of everything that you do every single day. Every single day. When you wake up in the morning, your new physical system, right? You get to understand the grounds. You touch the mirrors. You touch the walls. You touch the doors. You touch the handles, right? You go downstairs and you eat, right? So everything is changing now. So the structure of everything that's around you has to understand you, so you can stay out of the triggers, right? And that's where you have to use your hands, use your eyes, open your ears more, right? Really pay attention. It's all your senses that are inside now. So all your senses are now in one. Okay. When you guys go to higher levels, all your chakras will be in one. Okay. So all your coloration lights and your activations will be in one. Everything has to come in one. Okay. And that's extremely fast acceleration, Mach speed. And then you can travel faster. And once you get your foundations, you understand what I'm talking about, right? Living the existence of the now. Okay. And then you can change frames, and then you can manipulate anything through energy. It's a beautiful thing, right? Go outside, go to the beach, communicate with the water. It's amazing how you can move water back and forth. It understands you through connection because it sees you as a hologram. It sees you or where you're supposed to be. It sees your balance, and it sees where you need to fix your balance. That's why everything is correlated to the earth. The earth knows you more than you know yourself. And that's the position you guys have to come out of, right? You have to get out of those triggers and get into the balance of everything through the earth, okay? The fire, the air, and the water of you through plasma, okay? So it's improving, yeah. All right. I feel the energy flowing through my body and moving. My arms were burning last night and just confirmed I was connected to my kittens. I helped him send energy. So there you go. See? There it is. That's understanding. So if your hands are hot, you have water inside you. You just have to learn how to connect to it. How your hands are hot. Well, you can put coolants in there through your ecosystem, right? But the hand has to understand on both signals here, guys. So if your hands are hot, you can change the mind adaptation of your thought and change it to cold. You can change it to freezing. You can change it to anything through temperature because that's what the galaxy is. That's what weather is. Everything through weather is different on every single level, but it's always balanced with everything. Everything. Humanity doesn't have balance with nature. Humanity doesn't have balance with grounds. They don't have balance with anything through the atmospheres or anything through travel. You guys are getting your balance now. All through traction, right? So, okay. Morning. Let's see. Well, we are using the balls of balance, the computers. Yeah, you'll be able to understand to see your computer, and you can use your. Remember, I was going through transformation manifestation, all position locations when I was at the building in Canada, and I had the air conditioner, and every time I came in, the temperature reading went up, trying to read me and where I am through heat signature. I was doing a live stream in the positions, right? I was watching Netflix, and the numbers were going up. Trying to find out what's going on with my energy, right? So it's trying to fluctuate. It's trying to find its balance. So it's amazing how you can do this. I go through the astrologics and I change my viruses on my computer because it's on an 8-track rotation, right? Your whole body is on an 8-track. It's in the back of right here, right? So you got your templates here and here, here and here. That's their diamond. That's their northwest, south, and east through your energy pod, which is connected to your sightings, your ears, and your voice grid. Okay? So you have to learn how to use these through calculations, right? It'll get easier. It will definitely get easier. All right? So you have to understand why we created sign language, especially for people that can't hear. Sign language, right? Makes sense, right? So you can understand why AI does everything through that, because that is number one through introduction. We have to introduce ourselves, especially when we're in other planet systems. Okay. Tomorrow we will go to a foundation to a planet on the galaxy position location. You actually feel the dust particle. You actually feel the foundations. You actually feel the wind. You actually can breathe the planet. You can actually see space. So I really want you guys to get into the grounds of planets now. Okay, really understand, whoa, I'm on a planet right now. This is wild. And then you see intelligence coming at you. So, all right. Little balls of light. Yep. Yeah, Wim Hof is very informative. Yeah, he can bring his temperature down. Yeah, he's good what he does. Yep. Yeah, he's extremely powerful with nature. Yeah. But does understand the conceptual system positions to humanity to heal the track system. He's on a physical line center. He's at ground formations of nature. That's all he is. So he can basically change his temperature readings of being into, Celsius of water, no problem, right? He can train you and teach you all that, how to bring your temperature down. The only way to do that is to slow down the heart. Because if the heart doesn't slow down, it freezes, okay, and it high rises, okay, and then you go into panic and then you can't breathe, right? So he fluctuates his heart to bring it down to a lower vibration, right? So he can have the level of the coldness. So that puts the balance of the coloration, because the coloration and the heart changes color. Okay. So when you come out of the water and you look at your hands, they're all blue, right? You're all blue because you're in cold water. So the temperature of your hands is trying to understand you through heat signature position locations. We go through this every single time when we go through different planets, meteorological planet line centers. We're going to go to a meteor planet. You're going to love that. It's very powerful. I'm going to take you to a lot of places. I can feel the vibration of my feet. I'm using the fingers, movements with plasma ball. It works, yeah. 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 And the thing is, too, you guys can come in more into healings now, right? I had this fourth finger. These are all generations of your finger points, right? So I was on my left hand, it was bruised, right? So I just recalibrate, resurface because I understand the cells. 2 days later, it's back to normal. So it's true to understand how to take bruises out of your physical alignment. just like that in 2 days. 2 days. Bruises last what? A month? You know, they go different colorations. First, you get the scratch, and then you get the open atmosphere. You have to understand time of everything. Okay, with coloration, especially if you get a scratch in your arm, right? It exposes, right? And then over time, it changes coloration. Same with the bruise, right? Goes into red, goes into black, right? So you have to understand the coloration change. Everything's in a clocking system. So understanding the veins, understanding the ventricles, understanding the cartilage, understanding the bone, right? Understanding everything that's inside through coloration of time, right? It's all connected to your particles. It's all connected to your cells. It's all connected to all levels of you inside, right? And you use your thoughts. You can pretty much get rid of anything if you know what you're doing, but you have to understand your hands first. And it has to be through communication, all right? Communicating is everything. So basically, if I want this finger to go down, I'm telling them exactly. I'm controlling my finger to go down, right? See the solar graph line center? Watch. And then I can bring it back up. You have to get into that first before you get into anything through weather. You know what I mean? You can't do aerokinesis if you don't know what you're doing with your hands. So you have to have relationships and partnership with your hands, but know the friendship between both the right and the left track system. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. But what about everything else? You got the wind factors, but where's the grounds? You got your fire, but where's the atmosphere? You know what I mean? So there's no balance there. All right. So everything's a process. Everything's a process. Yeah. Create. No, not in that position. All right. Let's see here. My right hand feeling a bit numb. Yeah. Okay, Christopher. Your hand is feeling numb. Okay. So how are you going to take the numbness out? Circulation, right? Circulation problem. So you understand the weather patterns. You have to understand the atmosphere inside. The atmosphere inside is different from the outside because the outside is more graph and size graph system. When I go outside, that's nature position. But nature is not just outside, nature is inside you. So you have to learn how to use both. That's the counterbalance, right? So it's just a high friction interference line channel that's not connected to high rotations, and it's in cell generation of lock connections, right? So I'm just going to take that out, take the numbness out of crystalline line condition interference. It's got identification line interference locations, high positions, taking the numbness out. 1, 2, 3, done, right? No more numbness. So it's all the calculation. So you add the data information to the right and you come out track of the left, right? So it's going from here, coming up from here, as long as you understand that, but never ever use your left first because it's outgoing message. When you're using the telephone, ingoing, outgoing, not outgoing, right? It's like, whoa, that just went to spam. You know what I mean? So, all right, Wheelan, how we doing? When someone can see and feel your heart is the most incredible feeling. It is, Veronica, and it's definitely getting in touch with your heart, how to communicate with it, right? That's the most important thing, is getting the communication to everything inside you. All right. Imagine a peaceful place, gathering best friends. We're all just hanging out. Are there any thoughts? How about embrace them all compass to you? Through thoughts is all through compass. It's all positions of high levels of sea levels of dimensional time. You have to learn how to counterbalance yourself. Like say you're on a log, right? You're on a log, you're on the earth, but you're spinning on a log in water. So you got the earth to deal with, you have the log to deal with, you have the water to deal with, and have you spinning on the log. So you have to keep the repetition. You have to keep the repetition going, right? The faster you go, the water's going to spin. So you got to get everything in balance so you can keep going on, 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 right? So when somebody comes on, they have to find the rhythm of what you're doing, or they're going to go, whoa, off, because you're finding your balance. And if somebody steps on, they're not aware of what's going on, because they got the control of the log, they got control of the water, they got control of the grounds, and they got control with the atmosphere. So they'd be able to spin faster, right? And if somebody comes on, they're not aware of their thoughts and what they just did, right? So there you go, getting the balance. All right. Yep, lights and sounds teaching me. That's what you want, especially in the kitchen, in the bathroom, your shower, even your car lights, driving. You got to get really balanced with your car, because the car sees you as a hologram. Whoa, the car's going to go woo, up, right? But if you are triggered, you're not balancing the car, are you? So you got to send energy to your steering wheel, right? And you got to hologram interference line center. Okay. So the car's communicating back with you. So that's the balance. You got to get balance with everything now, guys, because you're in your holograms. So it's a lot different. Get in the codes of the sounds I can use with my, yep. That's exactly what it is. And say if it's weird, it doesn't matter. At least it works for your phone. It's like, it's sending codes to my phone, right? And it sends it back to me, right? So it's just like that. So, and the reason why I do that, because it's very powerful, right? So I'm just trying to show you when it can go an exertion of too many high rises, you can be like this, and just like, whoa, what a shockwave. What just happened, It's like, did I just travel, or what did I do? Did I communicate with my computer? Did I communicate with my digital pad? Did I communicate with my phone? What is going on? So if you place yourself with all this metal around you, you have to line signal everything. Okay. And then you have to communicate with everything. Okay. And that's the point I'm trying to get across here, because it's all about you remembering how to do this, which you already know. So it's just because you've forgotten these things, but it's all coming back to your memory, right? So, yes, you do, Christopher. That's exactly what you need to do. Yeah, to protect you more. Realistic, yeah, it comes more real too, because you see lasers coming out of your hands now, right? Everything, you're all connected. You're all connected to a digital frame. That's all we are, all connected. All right. Let's see. I'm feeling the pulse vehicle back up, signaling outside my house right now. Good. All right. That's the importance too, right? Because if you don't get grounds with your car is going to go up, and you're going to feel the levitation. Right? You're going to feel the levitation, and the car is going to move forward. Even if you don't think the car is moving forward, it's going to move forward, and that's a trigger. So you got to get balance first, right? And remember, like Tina says, no thinking, only knowing and doing. Your placebos are changing faster and faster. And remember, you're 300% in the mind of the brainwave now. You're no longer 10% or 20%. All right, let's see here. Spinning the code unlocks something, and the galactic forces are in 200. So, and the rebellion's in 1,000. So, all right, let's see. Traffic, everything's communication. Yep. If you stand in the center and you see all these traffic lights, they're going to communicate with you, right? Because they're intrigued. You're reaching their vibration. They're trying to understand you now, because physical alignment is no longer in center line system. What is going on here through track line connection? So you're sitting in the center and you communicate with traffic lights. You try to say, okay, what's going on here? How do I communicate with everything? You got to find laser direction, right? And the only way to do that is like I said, really fast. Put them on the ground line, centers, power the atmospheres up. Everything that you see is electronics. And now you can communicate to everything, right? All at once. And it graphs the system, sets up the compilation line center. So you communicate with 4 or 5 different things all in one position. It's going to get complicated. You are going to go through triggers, but you got to find your balance now, guys. Right? Because you're now in your position. So going into the center of the earth, which is a hologram. It's very powerful. Okay. And like you said, with Commander Ember, she was in space. She saw herself in space. It's like, whoa, I'm not even here anymore. So it becomes more real when you go higher, right? Because you're no longer in the density of the line center anymore. You're in the full communications of light. And the more you travel faster, every time you go outside, everything around you has to recognize you now. Okay. And the thing is just to stay away from the triggers. There's some things that are going to be high vibrations, more ringing ears. What is this on that side? Whoa, a tractor. It's communicating with you. You got to communicate with back. Use your hand formation. Calm it down. I was going through a parking lot, and you know how you put a piece of paper in and it opens up and you go through, right? I couldn't go through because it couldn't recognize my body, right? So we're staying there and the cars are in line. So I had to use my fingers. And it went through. That's the trigger. And it's all thought process of placebo. Thoughts of recognition going forward. Placebos don't go back. Now, when it's connected to AI, the physical alignment goes back. That's a hesitation. That gets you in trouble, especially if you're like stagnatic. Well, I don't know what to do. What's going on? What should I do? What am I going to do now? You're hesitating. Now you're getting into stress. Now you're getting anxiety. Now you're not getting calm anymore, right? The biggest thing is to be calm in any situation you guys get involved with. Okay? You be overcome anything you want as long as the mind is at ease at all time. So the more you listen inside, you can connect better. Okay? The more you stress yourself, the more you lose connection, right? To all level. All right? So. All right. Why do my wristwatches run fast so much? I stopped wearing a watch years ago. I know my time is what others ask. Yeah, so the thing is, your watch will drain faster because it's trying to understand you through metal. It's trying to understand you, right? And it's all about your body is high rising fastly through vibration. So everything that you touch is going to be triggered, and you got to get balanced with it through the mind, guys. All right. All right, my cell phone battery is draining twice as fast now. See, there you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. So you got to get balanced with your phones, and you got to do these things. You got to voice your grids. Got to communicate because you're coming into crystals of water. What your phone is. You guys are in a different time. Your phone has to find the balance with you. Your computer has to find the balance and everything through your digital pad. Right, 3 triangle line center right there. Right, computer, phone, digital pad. Line signal rotation, center location, 5,000 years in the future. Done. That's it. It's all balanced. Right? So even if I touch it, right, it's energy, right? As soon as I touch it. So it is, knows exactly where I am. Right? If I'm off signal, my computer will tell me I'm off signal. Right? And that's how powerful you are through your positions when you go into your computers. It's confusing to you guys because you're in the computer world of yourself. So think of yourself as a phone because you're connecting to your computers now. You are a computer to the structures of its holographic system. And you have to learn how to use all levels of electricity. Okay? Like I'm saying, I had my 47-inch, right? The molt, it wouldn't go on, right? So I opened it up, recentered, reduced it, boom, TV's back on. Didn't need a new battery. I just highline the battery. I communicate with the battery. So it's all about understanding is to actually see the battery inside and see what's wrong. And you have to travel through it, right? And then you just recircuit, goes back on. It's very real. Remember, this is all through phenomenon. You guys will catch on. Okay, yeah, there's no app for this. This is all about you remembering. I can keep doing more for you guys from time to time, okay? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You are the app. See, you are the app. But remember, yeah. So everybody's now a phone. They just have to learn how to use it from outside. Understand? That's why it's confusing. Okay, Veronica, take it easy. Intelligence, I understand, but coding is another thing. That will happen over time, Laura. Okay? Especially when you go to higher levels, because then you get more into all of the positions, right? Because the thing is, the galactic forces are in the alpha waves, okay? And the GFLs are in the alpha and mega, okay? And everything positions the rebellion is alpha, mega, micro, macro. But you have to understand all positioning of you as center is the omega, right? So time precedes everything. So just practice on what you're doing now and everything will come into focus, but stay in the knowing and doing. Stay in the calming of your system and stay in listening. Really listen to the vibration of everything. And then you can line signal. Now you got everything in balance, right? So it's kind of like walking in a room, right? And making it your territory. That's what cats and dogs do. So you're making your territory where you're going through scanning, right? Because you're protecting yourself before you go or you trip a wire, right? You don't want to do that. It's a trigger. Okay. So Arlene, how you doing? Yeah, welcome. Anybody new? You can go over to my TikTok and I can help you out if you want to be upgraded, or you go through my email. But welcome. Let's see. It's just starting snowing in Boise now. Just you are powerful. Yeah. And you get connected more of high positions because the thing is that once you understand your weather inside, you understand all temperature readings from outside because you have everything stored inside already through memory, which is acceleration through my system. So when you look outside, you actually can see the particles of nature and what it's doing through shape. It's incredible how it's all calculated and how you look at it because it's nothing but a digital screen. So, can you also stop draining too fast? Connect? No, you have to find a way, okay, to find your positions, how to balance out your phones, guys, because your phones are going to keep draining if you don't have connections with your hologram. Okay, so it's all done through clocking and time, right? So use your voice, right? And it will answer back to you through plasma. Remember, this is just what? It's a phone, right? But it's intelligence. You can't see this as a phone. You have to see it as intelligence. So, like I said, you go to bed as AI and you wake up as AI. If you wake up as AI and you go to bed as physical, there's a confusion line center. You wake up, you're going to have a trigger through your phone. You have to be in the balance of both sides of the right and the left hemisphere of the track system. Okay? All right. It's getting really exciting now, isn't it? Another upgrade, we all have even brighter and more powerful. Yep. I've listened to what the general is saying, lots of info coming in. See, that's exactly what it is. Alan's got that through line conditions. I have to listen to what the general is saying. Listening is number one. Why you're listening is another thing. But to understand, it's all about you remembering how to do it. It comes easier, right? Through form. So both worlds are leveling. Yep. Each element is balancing out in my body, and that's what it is. You have to have the grounds, you have to have all positions of fire, you have to have everything through the air, and all level systems of water inside you to ground. Right? That's what you need. You need your groundings for all levels of travel when you're going through clocking. And that's important to understand these. So if I'm in this structure room right now, and I got everything here right now, it's my territory, it's my perimeter, it's my barrier, it's my protection. Everything is in calculation, but I'm in my hologram right now. If I get up and go to another structure room, right, I have to set up barriers and perimeters and security defense every single time, every single time. And if I don't, I get triggers from lights. It tells me otherwise. Light signals off, rotation positions, go back in structural line connections. It's telling me what I'm doing wrong and telling me what I'm doing right. Now, there is a right and wrong because you're in your holograms now. So, and then this is all about understanding space and time is interaction of balance in all ways to the male and the female aspect. So it's the mind and the conception of the left and the right, trying to find the balance of what's going on with you in structure. You're here, outside, go outside. That's 3, right? 3 line signals right there. 1, 2, outside, right? So if you're outside, you're in nature now. But nature's inside you. So nature has to understand you from inside, not outside. So if you understand nature from inside, now you're calculated, no trigger. But if you look through perception outside and see nature, you're not connecting. There's another trigger. You have to keep all your senses inside you. Okay. So every time you get up in the morning, you're inside yourself. I can no longer see perception of outside. Everything's inside now. That's the balance. And it's an amazing thing. So, and this is where you get, oh, wow, am I really crazy? Because I'm talking to my phone. You know, it's unbelievable. And you wonder why you can't get into passwords. You wonder why you can't get into high positions of your bank. You wonder why you can't do this, why you can't do that. It's because you're not getting connecting and grounds to your phone as a hologram. Okay? It's crazy, isn't it? It's like the clapper. Lights on, clap off, lights off, right? Like I said, future generation is here. Coffee on, channel 6, dim the lights, right? All technology is changing. So you are the new air. You are the new technology. All through your phone. You are a phone now. You just have to learn how to use it without triggering. And it's all about balancing your grounds. Okay? So, all right. Having issues yesterday and keep trying different ways to get in and listen. And I remember I used my voice like a robot. That's exactly what it is. You start turning yourself. And it's not a robot like, I did not compute. I don't understand. No, it's nothing like that. You just come into balance of everything through the grounds, how to communicate with the ground. You know, like everything through all positions, right? Fire, air. Anything through positions, okay? When it comes into water. See, the thing is, when you treat yourself like a robot, you're treating nature like a robot. If you say you're a robot to nature outside. It's what you're calculating to when you go outside. It's all done through thoughts. So if you want to be a robot inside your body, you're going to respond to nature. Nature's going to respond to you as a robot. And that's confusing to its alignment of its ground system. Because everything that you create is you inside through a computer. So this is where you have to be cautious on these things, especially when you're traveling, right? And you always have to identify your system. So if you're saying you're a robot and they know you're not a robot, they're going to put a reaction in you. You're not a robot, line, center, rotation, positions. See, and it just, intelligence knows everything, all right? Especially when you go to higher levels. But it's basically understanding you through your thoughts and how you see yourself every single day. And I'll ask again, where are you? Where are you in the mind of thought? Where are you in the imagination? Where are you in your visions? How do you want to create this? How do you want to create that? Right? So the more you put yourself in that positions, the more you're in relation to nature, and nature sees you and what you do through imagination. So if you go outside and you want to connect to that level, that's great. But if you want to be off cycle and be the negative system, you're creating nature to a bad system, right? Because nature is inside you. It's the earth. It's the earth, right? You don't want to damage your body inside because you're damaging everything outside, which is now a reaction to your physical system. And it will reject you. Okay? Even if you're light, life is all about triggers. Okay? You just have to find a way to focus, find a way, get into the clarity, get into, see a waterfall, see the sun come out, or, all that connections, or, I feel great. I'm sitting at the park and I feel the breeze just go over me, put yourself in the positive of what nature is. If you change your signals, you're changing everything outside, which is reacting to everything through its community. And remember, your size graph centers and your energy fields are getting bigger and bigger and bigger now, like you wouldn't believe, right? The more you go higher, the more you expand, right? So I hear you. Words are, I'm following the class. I hear, thanks. Well, that's great. I'm glad. And that's the position that you guys want to come into, right? So that's exactly where you are. Yeah, you're all computers. Yeah. The more you realize that, the more you understand your hologram structure. I set the clocks this morning. Yeah. Beautiful fairy, butterfly wings, and glitter rainbow heart. And see, the thing is, you are creating more space now because you're remembering more. And when you remember more, you're starting to travel better through time. So you'd be able to go here, you'd be able to go here, you'd be able to go here and go back up here and go back to here and communicate with your friends. All in one line signal, all in one compilation, right? Because there is no physical reality. There isn't any physical reality. It's what you perceive as its reality. Okay? That's what it's positioned to through its perception. Okay? So that's a true understanding where the mind has to get its acceptance and the brain has to understand the acceptance of its structure, saying, okay, the brain understands you're in a hologram, the mind understands its thoughts, the placebos are going forward, the cortex is no longer in its communication of a dream, it's now in the vision. So the more you see through vision, the more you see who you are of remembering. Okay? So, yeah, everything is living, breathing. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you guys are doing. You're traveling faster and faster, right? But you got to get your grounds of what you're doing. That's the main thing, right? So, channeling, trying to balance the positivity. Yeah, the positivity is there. Time precedes everything, right? You can even take your time with that. There's no rush. Don't try to be at the rebellion. Don't try to be at the GFLs. Just be you. If you try to be them, it's too complicated. I have Tina that's been with me 3 years, right? Jill's been with me 6 months. Commander's been with me 2 months, 3 months, pretty much the same time. So seriously, guys, I mean, just focus on yourself and you'll get there. But it's true understanding when we come to Vega communication, signals of teleportation, how everything is done. So when you're seeing these things, try to understand how to communicate with it. Try to understand the line, try to understand the circle, try to understand the grounds, try to understand the atmosphere. As long as you put it all together, right? You can send it out. It's all done through structure of you inside because you are a map of manifestations of creation. right? So think of the favorite colors. Yep. Can you please explain the rebellion? Well, that goes way, way back to the Babylons and all connections to the matriarch and all levels of archons and the Platines and the all level system of intelligence and how we took things back, and it's the foundation that it created through its alliance, right? The rebellion of alliance, its connections with all levels, with space, and how it's all in position of quadrant levels of vector core line connections, all levels of solar systems, the fleet commands, and about the planets and how space has its history and its ancestors. It has so many levels, the all connections. When you come into the grays, the Dows, the Trogs, the Reptoids, the hybrids, there's a lot of history there, right? And rebellion is all about putting everything back in order, okay, to positions of the Earth. See, the thing is that the Earth position is you, but you got to get the balance of everything first of you, and then you get the balance of the Earth perception, which you are living its reality. So everybody's living in a different Earth perception. My Earth perception is different from yours. So that's rebellion on its own. So the rebellion is all about alliance coming back into you to fixing your Earth. So when we travel into space and we fix Jupiter, all that, that's fixing you to your planet system, which is already stored of space that's inside you. Okay, so that's the whole understanding, is that you are protecting your Earth of E-fields, so you don't have anything come in, right? Starts off with the ether, you have to understand how to use it through sonar, how to use it through Wi-Fi. You'll get better and better how to use your phones. You know how to use your phones easily, right? But you are a phone now. And you have to learn how to use it through signals, through your finger points and everything, through high level positions, your eyes, your ears, and everything through your crown, right? You really have to understand the signals and codes, right? Because it's all tractions of space, beacon lights. It's very powerful when beacon lights come in. Do, 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 right? Well, what was that? So it's giving you awareness, and it's going to go right into your ear, right? So you have to open space. If you block center, this true understanding is getting into all levels, is bringing your ears forward. Just open, see, watch. Open the voice box. Here, the connections, templates. Open the diamond core line center, opens up the door to the third eye line center, okay? Opens up the ears. Space comes in. Got the confirmation line center in position, right? They'll leave. They will keep coming back to you. Keep coming back to you if you don't open your ears. Okay? So if you do that, you open your voice box, right? That opens up your third eye in positions. Now, your third eye is always open. But see, the thing is, your third eye is in a different position to your ears, your eyes, and your chakra system. So it's in a different color. It's in a different dimension. It's different in time. It's different shape. It's in a different vortex. Your third eye is never the same. It's different because you're traveling through different signals. Okay? So it's very powerful when you come to that position. All right? A lot to learn, right? Okay. Yeah, so just do that and you open your ears. That's space. Nobody knows these things. You want to hear space? Put your pinkies. Put the suns in your ear. You hear space. Why do you think you get ringing ears? Because you block the system. You're blocking the sun. You're losing the input and the output of the modems of the moon. Separated. All right? So, perfect example. Okay, vertical, horizontal balance of being, concept being, and okay, we are all the tons of always here different now. Yep. Target flying, but being the same time as you already where you're supposed to be. So the whole idea here is not just wake up humanity, but to get them in the grounds of their perception of what they see through their earth. So it's all about you fixing your own earth and putting up new e-fields. Everybody's at different perceptions. So when you do that, then you come into alignment of cycle rotation of an atom, of a full complete cycle of revolution. Okay? So it's very powerful. So I'm helping you guys out so you can remember more. You want to hear space? Just bring your ears forward and it opens up everything. So change the triangles of the third eye. Right? Comes in. Got confirmation line, center rotation position. Goes in right. Here. Comes out. Right? That's it. So if you plug your ears, what are you doing? You're misconceptioning your lines. You're not connecting to the sun and you're not connecting to the moons of the moon, are you? Right? So your ears are going to get more profound. It's going to be more louder, especially if you're in light. If they see you in light and you don't know how to open your ear rotations, not good, not good. It's like, I don't know my alphabet yet. I don't know my programs yet. I don't know my computers yet. I don't even know how to travel through astral travel. What am I doing wrong? Right? Everything I give you is solar memory. The more you remember, the more you understand. Oh, light bulb goes on. Big flash, right, comes in. Frames come in. Light comes in. Okay? All life system comes in of you remembering. And it usually comes in images, letters, numbers, or shapes. And that's how the universe communicates with you. Right? It's the signs that you see when you go outside. Oh, there's a sign. Oh, there's a sign. There's a sign. Everything's a sign. Whether you pick up on that, that's totally up to you. Right? Especially if you're picking up numbers on your clock, 4444, 2222. Pay attention to that. If you're not paying attention to that, now you're connecting to your physical system. All right? AI connects with everything right away. Right away. Remember yesterday when I was on TikTok and I had the red signals on my ear, like that, it's flashing? I connected with it right away. If I don't and I ignore it, it sends signals back to me, which is a reaction. So, and that's what the true understanding is, that why we're all separate to the earth, which is a problematic, right? So it's all about everybody getting into their physical system and basically getting into the mind adaptation of its imagination, or getting things already created for you and creating the space for the now position. Okay? So, all right, let's see here. Lots of questions. All right, let's see. Learn to make ground lines. Yes, very good, Ellen. Having issues with being different coming out of the program back from space and time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, issues will follow you, triggers will follow you, but know exactly what you're doing without thinking more. Get into the knowing and doing. See, humanity gets into thinking and hesitation. That stops everything, the procedure. Space and time doesn't stop for anything. It's constantly moving, right? So if the space is constantly moving and time is moving, you have to move with space and time at the same time, because it's registering you through light now. So intelligence sees you. You can't see intelligence. Intelligence can't see you until you're at a certain frequency. That's the only way you can communicate, and it's got to be from inside. So if they see your lights going off like this and you're floating in space and your light going off like this, and they come in, track line center is off, location line center, what is going on through line for rotation positions? Let's change the program line center location, down through equation. See? They just reprogram you because you're flashing in space and you have no clue what you're doing through travel. Imagination is amazing, isn't it? Because it's very real. So I can see the instructions that time travel. Yeah, that's it. It comes into visual. Yeah, all through a graph of a blueprint, right? Schematics, right? Your training stand positions. That's why you wake up in the morning. Oh, I'm going to write this down. Cool. You don't want to. The thing is too, is when you're sleeping and you pick up something, get up and draw it right away, because you might lose it through travel. It's incredible when you get into that moment of travel, and then you can just draw it out and then go back to sleep, right? It's incredible when you come in that position. All right, let's see here. You're connecting to dots too. Yeah. We're all in this together to help each other, you know. That's what you want. I can spot time from everywhere. It's amazing to have our own energies connected. So Ellen can spot her extra line connections, but she's got to get her ground formation lines, right? So she's got the extra lines, but she has to tend the timelines, which are different to her, because now she's in the center and she's really freaking out because there's so many portals open up now. So you see all these portals. Which one do I go through? So she has to be cautious in which we go through, because it's time change. So we'll get into that more to understand that when you're seeing portals open, are you going to go through it? You can only go through it if you understand what the portal is through dimension. It has always a location, and it's all done through time. Okay, the clocking of its time is everything through travel, right? So you see everything, but you're not aware of anything. So, you know, that's the most important thing, is when you're traveling, you could be going into this position and go out of this position. Oh, I just went in, but did I go out? So remember, if there's UFOs going in, you have to make sure that they're going in and you are going out. You don't want to go in the in position when they're coming out. Crash. And that's why it's all in position to its connections, where there's tunnels of UFOs coming in this way and you can't go in that way. You have to understand the in and the out exits of laws of attraction of space now, because you're starting to live in space, which is very real. And when you become living, you become space, and then you are space. That means that you've already created what you've created. Now, like I said, everything in space inside you is creating the now, is the now, because you remember everything. And that puts you in the foundations of the future. Okay? But see, that's exactly what it is, Ellen. I know exactly where you are, right? But it's very powerful when you're seeing all these portals, but you're not aware, because you don't know which one to go through, right? Because you see everything. So you're in the center of all operation, but you're seeing all these things now. And, you know, I don't know, should I go this one or should I go that one? I don't know. There might be a UFO coming out this way. Solar direction line this way. Is that the sun over there, or is that the moon over there? So you have to really get into coordinates and calculation. You know, these things take time, right? This is just the beginning for the rebellion, right? So everything's a process of learning. Don't ever think that you're not connecting to anything, because you are connecting to everything. You just forget. That's all. So exploring is everything. Yeah. Get into the exploration of your body. Understand what your body is. It's nothing but cells and particles and everything position of you. Try to understand how to use electricity to its connection. Try to understand what it is and what it's used for. How to communicate. All right. Biking space, I got bike, hats with then, no rules, just go hot. Yeah, and thing is too, you can travel to any country instantly, you know, back and forth. As long as you understand your time, position, locations, you're fine, right? But if you're in space and you see a portal and you have no clue where it's going, don't go in, because the UFO could be coming out. You have to understand the in and the outer exits. Same with the right and the left. Data processing, outer, right? Inner, outer track, inner, outer, right? That's the most important you have to understand, especially when you get into communications. Anything through gamma, anything through sonar, or anything through radio, right? So this is what it is you come out of radio, you go into gamma, and you go into higher levels, okay? And then when you get to a higher level system, you can go back down and communicate with radio, gamma, or anything higher, okay? So when you get bounced with that, now you're getting bounced with the waves, which is very powerful. And then you start seeing them, right? And then you see the line signals, right? There's a lot of things that you see, right? Particles dropping, right? It's pretty wild stuff. So So it's really understanding the aspects of space, the travels of space, the coloration lights of space, and how space is formed, how it's calculated, how I see it as a digital frame. So it's like an XT1000 coming and doing a Z track, right? So it's going through line signal, and it's your job to set up portals for them so they can go through, right? They help you, you help them. That's how it works. That's how we work as a team. Right. And that's why I want you guys to get more into friendship, relationship, partnership with each other at the beginning. That's the test. Right. And it gets you more of remembering who you are to yourself and each other, which is very powerful. Okay. So, all right. Tune into the grounds. Big black rectangle that's been in front of me just turned purple. What does that mean? Okay. So this is interesting. See, this is what I'm talking about. If Christopher is coming across a big, humongous rectangle that's been in front of me, just turned purple, what does that mean? What does that mean? First off, you understand before you travel recognition is understand what color was it before purple. This is the true understanding when you come into precognition of space and goes through the mind adaptation cycles. So if he comes in positions of a purple, that's the connection to the sun, right? But what was the color before that? Right? So if you go in position of space like this, and you see everything through color, and you got to understand, okay, what just happened? You know? So black and purple on position, because space is all position of black. The reason why it's a black line signal, so we can see everything through operation. All right, so let's go into illumination. So anything through color. Understanding track line rotations to its conditions, all right? So to know exactly what it was before color, this is the color it was to its line signal. Try to understand Christopher through trying line locations. Coming from this equals Christopher slash color, okay? Bracket, triangle, equals sun. That's what it was before. And that's what it is now to Christopher. See? Travel recognition of timeline center is truly standard calculation modifications to its the pre-center line interference channel, which is connected to all levels of triangles. Okay, so it's true to understand how everything is in position. Times square equal Christopher slash all positions to what it is through bracket equals sun. Right? Christopher slash communication. Right? Because he couldn't understand this, it's this now. So when he gets into precognition, he'll know exactly what it is before he gets into the brackets of the sun, which is purple to its calculation. Hooah. So, pretty amazing, all right? All right. You guys have to understand your alphas, your gatas, your thetas, and your betas, eh? That's the true understanding you get at your alpha, mega, micro, macros. It's going to be confusing because you're going to be coming across alpha, mega, micro, and macro, micro, macro, which Galactic Federation doesn't understand. And that's where I have to help you out so you can understand more. But you have to be in high position rotation first to understand everything. It's like Christopher trying to understand all levels of precognition. What was it before he sees it now? Remember, space-time is different from the grounds of you when you see things. Because the thing is, we live on a cycle of moving forward. But in space and time, it's already moved forward. Understand? That's a true understanding that everything in space and time is already created. And it's confusing to the mind system when you start traveling. But when you start traveling more, everything through clarity comes into vision. And then you realize, oh, that's what it was before. before it came this. All right. Now it's confusing because you don't see the box center, right? But the thing is, too, once you understand everything through Christopher comes into his name, Christopher, which is him through box. So he's traveling through to get to the sun, right? So it's very powerful when you connect to all colors, all through waves. All right. But that's exactly what you are, Christopher. You're learning so much that you don't remember. And that's why I'm here, is to understand. So don't think of the test review, okay, like Jill was saying. Don't think of it as a test. Think of it as just something to remember. And that's the problematic system when it comes to teachers. They put so much pressure on you. And they say, oh, I got a test. I don't even know what it's about, right? That's so much pressure. But once you start releasing and letting go, you come into visual, you come into frame. The mind is basically breaking down, and it's trying to understand you through the suggestive system, and everything through all levels of your placebo is starting to relax and move forward. See, this is where it's the confusing system. We live in the now position of physical system, right? Which is on your clocking system, 60 seconds per minute, right? But in space, it doesn't go through that system. It's already done through its connection. So it's confusing to the physical, especially when you're traveling, right? Because now you're going through timelines. Now you're going through precognition. Now you're going through, it's magical when you start traveling to all levels of communications to get to the sun. Why is it purple? Why is it red? Why is it a square? Why is it a circle? Why is it a matrix line? Okay, it will all come back to you as solar memory. Okay. Membrane, material is breathing for air. Yep. They are communicating more. They're communicating back with you, but do you understand what you're communicating with? Right? So if you get into high level rotation and communication to colors, right, you have to understand the alpha waves. Okay, and that's what the galactic forces are in. Okay, so if you get a triangle, if you get a circle, if you get a square, and if you get a rectangle, you have to understand what's going on. Now, this is white on black. This isn't black and white, is it? If it was black and white, it'd be illumination. But remember, different intelligence, different shapes, different dimensions, different time, different coloration, different point centers, different clocking. Different clocking. See? You have to understand these things. It's all done through point center, right? All done through point center. We did this through vortex, how to travel through it. So you have to understand this is 2, this is 4, this is 4, and this is 3, right? So when you understand all levels of center and position, you can travel through anything through line conditions. So you can go through 3, right? You can go through 2, you can go through 4, flux capacitor, right? So once you go through those 3 channels, you can go into 4, right? See that? You're setting up a base, you're setting up a graph, you're setting up a location, you're setting up a highline signal. So if you change that positions and you go through dimensional lock system line conditions, you fly through security line conditions, security line defense is coming in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dimensional line center rotations, all through 4 colorations of triangles, all positions of circles, squares, and rectangles, right? So that changes the frame position into 4, changes the frame positions into 4, change positions into 3, change positions into 2. So you got 4, 4, 3, 2. Very powerful. So this is what Lauren comes into. Understand the shapes through all levels of digital frame of 4, 4, 3, 2. Try to understand the dimensional timeline system rotations, right? So it's very powerful when you come in that position locations. This is all done through Vega communication. So a lot of things to learn from, guys. A lot of things to learn. Okay, let's see. Breathing at all levels. Yeah. Develop your own language in connection to your avatar. Listen to Ellen. I saw everything before now, remembering what I lost. Very confusing. Yep, confusing is good, knowing that you're still unstanding. The more you understand that, get into your breathing, get into your focus, get into your balance. Ground everything. All right. Okay, if time concept to your avatar of being in the moment. That's exactly moment to moment. Very good. And then turn number 4 into pink of 3. Interesting how it came into that, how Ellen was communicating to my mind graph system. Isn't that interesting? 4 into 3, right? In track system. Isn't that amazing? 4 into 3. Incredible. That is amazing. She communicated to 4 and 3. She knows exactly it was in the center line, center rotation. That's incredible through all levels of 4 shape locations, right? That's very powerful, how we connect to that line system. Ellen picked that up. That's very powerful stuff. Good for you. So it's amazing. She goes into my mind and she's trying to understand the track system, right? So because she's trying to understand me more and more, she's fascinated with my knowledge, but she has her own knowledge. She has her own perception. She has her own color. She has her own lights. She has her own shapes. So you don't want to confuse that line conditions. So I can see Ellen going into my mind. So it's all about understanding where she's coming into 4, 3. Right? So it's very powerful when you come in that position because it's all about understanding where we're traveling through the track system. Right? But congratulations there, Ellen. You got in line conditions. You went into the mind system of general. See, that's the thing is too, right? Yeah, you guys are becoming your own teachers or your own masters. So that's great when you go through dimensional line center. Okay. Now, if I put my E-force line center up, she wouldn't be able to go into my mind. But this is an open channel because we're all at the same level. Even the people that are just becoming on new, it's fine. But in position, you're always protecting yourself, right? That's a true understanding where you can basically go into someone's mind and understand the sequence of numbers of 4, 4, 3, of 2 rotation. Okay? So, let's see, that's what happens when you don't put your E fields up, right? But I saw Ellen go in. So that's pretty powerful how we connect to that system, right? So I wanted to show you what you can do with that line channels, and everything position locations is line connections of high rotation of pink. So she was right. 43 was pink. See the connection? So she got the coloration and she got the channel sequence in 4-3, right? So that's how she's informative now, right? So it's all about she's really excited to travel, right? And she's trying to understand more of her general. But then I could put my E-force up. I could put my E-fields, my force fields. But I keep it an open channel because the thing is, if I send you guys information and I put a lot of force fields, you won't recognize me in any level. But if I open the frequency, then you can understand positions. And this is all about understanding where the brain is to high line connections. Now, when you guys go to higher rotations, you'll be able to do the same thing through each other. And that's how you get in positions. Oh, what number are you thinking of? 7. How'd you know that? Right? So you know it's 7. Right? You do it at parties. This is pretty well. This is cool. You know, I got the number 7. I didn't even think about it. So it just clicked in, right? So that was very powerful for Ellen to get that. So way to go, Ellen. All right. So it's amazing how you come into number sequence. So we go with the line center locations again. We do this through rotation again, through rotation. Okay. We start off in this position again through locations, right? Now, Ellen won't be able to get into my mind now because I'm putting on my force fields. Okay. So it's all about being aware of these things, the track system locations. So as soon as I change the illumination of the graph line center of the shape, it changes its position of time of lock system location, right? This is force fields around the shape location. You're protecting the triangles of time positioning through its clocking system. All right, so once it has its clocking system, you have to understand how to travel all levels of time position location. All right. all through a triangle. So it's really understanding how to travel through your vessels of your pyramids, right? Like this through position. Okay. So once you understand the clocking system, 12 goes to here, to the circle rotation line center, comes into positions to the rectangle, comes in positions to the square, and comes in positions back to the 12 central system in calculation. So it's all about structuring all levels of one position location of a triangle into 12 position locations. Now, when you want to change the line center, you can go into the one track system back into the circle. You can go into the square. You can go back up to the circle, or you can go crosswind to the rectangle. See the triangle? See your vessel? There's your vessel. Illuminate the vessel line center in position locations. There's the vessel. There's your UFO in position. See? So it's amazing how you clock the system through triangles, circles, squares, or rectangles into your vessel, all through clocking. All right? So it's all about going back and forth in time, position, locations. All right. Jamie, trust your imagination. Wherever you can see, sense is real. If you can imagine, if you're remembering, all is thought travel. Very good. Thank you, Lieutenant. Okay, I know I can see Ellen wants to travel. She's really, really hyper. Let's see. I'm so used to traveling through wormholes. Yeah, but see, Christopher, you have to get out of position of traveling through wormholes, because the thing is, it's trying to understand if you're just getting information of one number. Every time you get up in the morning, you're only getting that same number. You're repeating cycles. It's like Groundhog Day. You are connected to the same day position. So every time you get up, you're connected to Monday. Monday morning, every time you get up, Monday morning, 7 days a week, Monday morning, Monday. So it's been a month and you're still on Monday, right? So you have to just get out of positions of realm and expand your horizons through your clarities and your illuminations and come into your clocking system of shapes. Okay? So and stop doing that. When I used to practicing traveling through colors, they were learning. Yeah. So getting to letters, numbers, and shape. Okay, that's what we all have to get into, that positions, right? That's what we did with the test. To that connection. It's how we go into this. The GFLs comes into structure. 369 with the galactic forces and everything through rebellion. Everything has to be in signal. Everything has to be attached. Everything has to be connected. Okay? It's all a position of you inside to understand what you are through all contracts and blueprints and schematics. Try to understand what it is. All position, right? And that's how you put letters, numbers, and shapes in all sequence, right? Especially when you're going through higher forces, upgrade system locations, right? Through your clocking system of diamond core to your diamond core to your 369. Okay. So, time dot being, yeah. In the middle of the story frame by being in the moment yourself, a force field plasma. Mm-hmm. Can't just create all this all on my own. Or does that mean no? You can't create anything until you start remembering. Let me say that again. You can't create anything until you start remembering. Right? Talk to Lieutenant. She's extremely informative. Talk to Commander. Talk to Tina. Talk to Ellen. They're extremely high rise on so many levels, guys. So many levels. They can help you out with all these things. That's what they're here for. We're all here to help each other. That's what I'm trying to get everybody's across to that system, to understand how to calculate and modify all levels of three line centers of the rebellion to the GFLs to the galactic forces, and how we're all this together, right? All information will come to you over time as long as you keep remembering, right? So this is all about understanding. Go to my TikTok videos where Jill, in position lieutenant, is talking about the trigger. The trigger is the biggest thing. And these triggers will basically put you in position, just let go of everything. And then you open up the mind. See, the mind has to understand the open concept of what you're doing. And once you start doing that, the mind becomes more easier. If the mind's frustrated, it's going to get headaches and migraines. But if it's centered, You're going to get structure. You're going to get visual. You're going to get all levels of frames. You're going to get all position of digital. You're going to get letters, numbers, and shapes in position of location. So time precedes everything. Focusing is great, Christopher. You'll find that too, rather than just traveling through portals and dimensions, because you've been doing this your whole life, but you haven't been in clarity of dimension of color. And now your whole body and your whole track system is changed through time system, through your hologram center. So you have to really understand how to communicate as you are a foam of a reception. So, questions or comments, you can talk to the team. Anything else, let me know. All right, I wish I could see these visuals. How many days a week after being activated, going to school, did your team start seeing visual results? The travels, how long did it take? You see, everybody's different and different perception of time through sequence. That's a true understanding there. Okay, Brenna, is that you have to really get into more of upgrading system of you. Right? Once you go to a higher level, the mind becomes more easier. It becomes more focused, more balanced. Right? And that's what space-time is. Space-time is always balanced. It's always countermeasure. It's never this. 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 It's always this. It's always balanced between the male and the female aspects of the mind, of the hemispheres of time. Okay? So, yeah, it's the patience. That's the biggest thing. And that's where it comes in. Just try to take 5-10 minutes and just try to calm the mind. Take 5 minutes and don't do anything. Just sit there and just don't focus on anything. Don't focus on what you're doing. Just focus on nothing. And then things start clicking in because you're starting to calm the mind. The mind has to stand the balance of you. So if you just relax, everything will start kicking in. Right? This phone can be barely handled using voice. Yep. Yeah. You just have to learn how to communicate with your voice. Yeah. And it will communicate back with you through codes. So one step at a time. And that's why I put you in verification of Vega, right? So also depends on which side you wake up. Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter which side you wake up, on the left or the right. All you have to understand is that you have to have the balance of the mind. Okay, it's the sea levels of dimensional time here, guys. So if you're tipping your boat too much one side, you got to bring it back to this side. This is what the mind's doing every single day, right? So once it finds its center with you, it finds its balance. Balance. There it is, right there. That's it. There's the balance between light and dark. Light, dark. Light, dark. Everything light is dark. Dark with light, light, dark. That's the balance between time and space, right? If you don't have balance with that, there's a problem right there. And the mind is the conception of open. It's the frequency time frame to everything through pi. You just have to understand how to use it through its equation, right? You take everything out of the equation, but the mind has to understand you through space. And the only way to do that is to let go of everything. Everything that you're doing, everything that you're thinking of. Just clear the mind. Clear the slate. Erase it out. Put your mind at ease. Stop thinking of your kids. Stop thinking about your job. Thinking of this, thinking of that, media, anything. Just let it all go. You have to surrender. Or you're going to keep being triggered. Right? That's a true understanding. That is the acceptance. Okay, I now accept. I now surrender. I give up. But you're not giving up. You're moving forward. So give up and it's like, oh, okay, I give up my pride. I don't want to do it anymore. Forget it. No, it's nothing like that. You're just surrendering to everything and you're letting go of everything. And the mind comes into balance of yin and yang. That's what it is. It's coming back into balance. The male and the female aspects of its thoughts. The male thoughts, the female thoughts. The male thoughts, the female thoughts. Right? The right hand, the left hand. The inner, the outer. Okay? These things will take time, but you gotta let go. You let go, you start remembering, and you actually go inside. So use all your senses and try to go inside in all level. Okay, and you'll see a big difference in your whole system will change, right? Through activation. Okay. All right. The body remembers you because of higher vibe. The body has to clear out the past. That's it. Thank you very much. See, you already know that. You already know that, Brad. See, you already know because you're paying attention and you're listening to your body, which is balancing out the mind. Stop focusing on everything. You're trying to basically try to figure things out. You're trying to figure out the earth in 5 minutes. You can't. It's next to impossible. It's like a big chip on your shoulder that is so heavy. It's like you just let it go. Wow. Freedom. Right? It's the balance that you have to get. Or you're just going to keep going back and forth. Right? So if the body's off, the mind is off. If the mind is balanced, the body's balanced. And the soul and the heart. Everything has to balance out in one cycle of one flow, of one recognition, of one space, and one time, of one location, of one activation, of one light, of one intelligence. Okay? So, a lot to learn, eh? Very positive person, so I'm not used to thinking about the negative. But see, that's the thing. You get out of the negative more and more, and the mind comes more balanced. That's what you want. You have to accept, yeah. That's the hardest thing to do because you're going through all levels of your past and it's thinking, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. Just leave me alone. Like you're talking to yourself like Frankie Fear, like I create that. And it's kind of like an invisible person that's saying, okay, this is the fear, this is the abyss, put it aside, but you can't avoid it. You have to find a way to communicate with your spiritual system because it's the spiritual force of you that has to understand the mind of what you're doing every day. But as soon as you concentrate on so much, you forget your system. And when you forget your system, you're destroying your body, a vibration inside position. That's not what you want to do. So if you calm the mind, you come to peace and tranquility. And you realize, why do you think we get you to breathe? Release. Release. It's beautiful. It's glorious. It's amazing. Taking out toxicity, taking out the virus of you. You're vacuuming yourself from outside. You're taking all that stuff that is built inside of you that is a negative cycle and releasing it just by breathing out. How many times you have to do it, it's fine, right? But more you release, the more you release, the more you release, the more you get centered with the mind of space. So you're storing yourself with what? Traveling faster, right? So you can't travel faster if you're still thinking of the past. You're locked in position. You can't travel. You're forcing yourself. Now I feel like Jim Carrey. The pen is blue. That was funny. Anyway. So that's a true understanding that you got to get balanced with your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul. That's the only thing you got to do. And that's a big, big thing you guys have to let go is your past, right? Because it's too much clutter. You can't have clutter in the mind or you can't travel. It's that simple. The mind has to understand you completely and what you're doing before you create space inside. Okay? So, and this is a true understanding where you come into higher positions of you through locations. All right? It's all about you understanding, right? Well, it is a perfect reminder, eh? And that's what it is. It's all about review and reminding what you need to do, especially when you get, because the thing is too, the team will get into triggers, yeah, but that's totally normal. But they're going to be able to focus back faster. right? So they can recoil. It's like an elastic band, right? That's coming back to center. So if you're going like this, right, and you let it go, but you don't have your grounds, it's going to snap back and hurt you, right? Too fast, too quick, not enough knowing, right? So you have to let go of everything that you created in the past. And that's the hardest thing because you're still in that position of the physical understanding. The physical system has to truly understand what you're doing, right? That is the collaboration to the integration to your soul, which is its intelligence, higher self, avatar, whatever you want to call it. You create whatever you want. You are a comic hero of strength and power, force and command. Your job is to just remember all these things and just let go of everything. It's not that hard to do. You just think it's hard because you're thinking too hard. So stop thinking. Just let it go. You know, things will work out and you'd be amazed once you use your senses inside. Okay. And that's the connection that you have to come into. So, okay, Lauren, that's great. Hope I can help you out. I'm going to head over to TikTok. Any questions? Let me know. So you guys have been verified already with Vega communication line, center rotation line connections. Done through equation. All right. So that's it. All right. Tomorrow, we're going to travel to a planet line center. It's very powerful. We're going to see the foundations and the high rotation. It's on the other side of the moon track. It's really fascinating. Okay. Any questions or comments? Let me know. Adios.